Hi, good morning. How is everybody today? This is Robin from Roaming with Rover, and today is Finish It Friday. And we've got a lot to talk about today, so let's get going. So, first of all, last time we spoke, and it's been a couple of weeks, last time we spoke, there was a lot coming up, and I wasn't sure how much crocheting I was going to get done. We had a lot of family things coming up, and I had a little trip in there. Trip was great. We had wonderful visit with Mr. Sister, and got to go shopping a little bit. Went to a local craft store, local yard shop that was really, really cool. And I just thought of one more thing. Yep, I can reach it because I just thought of one more thing I want to show you guys. So, what did we get done? First off, the last time we talked, Michelle's Mosaic and More and I were doing a collaboration on teaching you guys how to do the mosaic crochet. And our little project was learning with this mug rug, but for me, it's a little big for a mug rug, and I did not use cotton yarn, so I'm going to put a plant on it. I'm going to use this as a little plant cushion thingy bobber. And got it all done. Got all my edges done, the envelope. This was really simple to do. I thought it was going to be difficult. It was not. As with most things crochet, we think they're going to be really hard. When we break all the steps down, it's not that bad. So this is how mine turned out. Couple little things, little boo-boos that I can see. Probably nobody else would be concerned about it at all, but you know how that goes. And then in the back, I've got all my everything's completely done. Looks great. Very, very pleased with it. Can't wait to start a big project. I've got one medium, smallish project in mind for Christmas. So I think I'll be able to get that done for Christmas. You guys, I heard today there is 100 days until Christmas. Get your list. Start figuring out how long it's going to take to finish all your projects. I still think I'm okay. I've only got 3 things planned, and I'm going to start one of them probably Tuesday. So we'll see. Anyway, this is a finished object. Ta-da-da! Who thought that was possible? Okay, so that's completely done. And I want to show you this because it's super cool, and it was not something I thought we were going to do. So, Mr.'s sister used to, of course she's retired now, but for years, her job, she had her own business, her own company, and she created custom draperies and custom couch covers and furniture covers and bedspreads. She would make bedding sets, bedroom sets. And so she's a very good seamstress. And I told her I needed a project bag that was big enough to hold a blanket that's in process. You guys know how that goes. And so she's like, oh, no problem. So we popped over to the fabric store, and they were having a sale because it was a holiday weekend. And we picked up this fabric. Isn't this awesome? And it's an outdoor fabric, so it's going to be sturdy. I can throw it on the floor, whatever. It can go in the washing machine, but it's also a little bit water repellent and that sort of thing. And we created this bag on the fly. Let me tell you guys, I was so pleased with this. It's got nice, big, sturdy, great big, sturdy handles. I love the handles on this. And she sewed them on the outside with the extra stitching. And it's zippered. She insisted it have a zipper. I'm like, zippers are too hard. She goes, no, not at all. Zippers are easy. And it's lined. Isn't that pretty lining? I really, really like that. I like that a lot. And it holds a ton. Because, of course, in the process, I may have bought some yarn to use for a project that I want to do. Another Christmas present. So that's 2 of the 3 Christmas presents that I want to do. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm making 3 Christmas presents. I pulled the yarn for one out of my stash. I got this on sale at Joann's for a second one. And my third one, I've got the yarn for sitting out in my car ready to go. So I've got all the yarn ready for all my Christmas presents. But isn't this pretty? I love the lining on this. I just love the way it looked with the outside of the bag. And it's got, I'm not a huge fan of, I mean, I'm not an overly big fan of oceany scenes. But you know what caught my eye was that silly little purple turtle. Isn't it pretty? I love this. I love this bag. I'm so pleased. Thank you so much for doing this for me. So we spent a couple hours dinking around in her sewing room and we built this bag. So does that count as an FO if it wasn't started on the way? I'm counting it. I'm counting it. All right. Let's see. This is the Granny Square. The Granny Square cocoon sweater. And it's just, like I said, big old Granny Square. Nothing fancy here. But it's getting there. I measured it and it needs to be about 35 inches across, and it's 30 inches right now. So that's coming along. And again, this is just spare time, sitting in front of the TV, talking with people when I'm not working on a regular project. Something that I don't have to pay attention to, I can sit down and pick up real easy. So it's getting there. It is getting there. I would expect, no deadline. End of the year, probably. So and I'm still on the first ball of yarn on this thing. It's really getting small. This is how much is left from the first ball of yarn. But you got to remember, this ball of yarn started out this big. So we got this much left. But we're getting a lot out of it. We're not going to finish it with the one ball of yarn, but it won't take too much into the second ball. So that's coming right along. That is coming right along. So that is one finished object, two finished objects. What would you say? 3/4 finished on that one? Yeah, 3/4 finished on that one. And, the sweater. So you guys remember I had a little bit of problem getting started on this thing. This is the Darla sweater. And this is Darla of Crafty Yarn Owl. Darla the Crafty Yarn Owl. And this was the My First Top sweater. And look at this. Look at this. It actually resembles a sweater at this point. I've put it on. I've measured it. So at first we were doing the raglan portion. And now I'm far enough along that I'm done with the raglan portion. I have secured the sides. So the sides are done, and I'm starting on the body where we're just going straight down. I really like this. I really like this. Isn't that pretty? That is going to be so nice. I really want to wear this on my vacation in October. So I got a ways to go, but I'm getting there. I am getting there. I'm more than halfway done. And now we're just going around and around and around and around. So we just go till it's the length we want it to be. So I'm at least half done with this. I had a little bit of a hiccup. I had made a mistake, of course, and I was able to contact Darla and she set me straight. But we decided that the mistake that I made wouldn't make a difference. Just look a little bit different than the original pattern that she created. So nothing wrong with that. And it works fine. And I'm just going to plug along and get her finished. Like I said, I want to wear this on my vacation, even if I end up taking it with me and working on it for part of it. That's okay. I'm fine with that. Because, I got to take something to work on anyway. So I might as well take something you're going to end up wearing while you're working on it. And I finished my first ball of yarn. Remember, I'm using the Comfy Cotton Blend. And I finished my first ball of yarn, 392 yards. And I even made a note of what row I was on. But of course, I can't find that note now. I want to say I was on row 13. Honestly, I think this was I think that's where I changed my ball of yarn. It was right there. And so I got most of this done out of the first ball of yarn. And I've just started the second ball of yarn. And I can't imagine, I don't know, I'll use all of this for sure. But I don't know that I'll need a third one. And I set aside 5 of these to make this. So if I end up using 2 plus plus part of a third one. I'm happy as can be. So that ends up, because I got this on sale, even if I get into the third one, it's going to cost me $6 to have made this sweater. That's a steal in my book. $6 for this sweater. Yeah. So, about half done with this. And this is going with me. For sure. All right. One more finished object. And I can't believe I finally got it done. The shawl. So Spring the Fiber Enthusiast. Hi, Spring. Another lady who's been very, very helpful. Was doing a crochet along for this beautiful, beautiful shawl. And this was called Turbulent Skies Shawl. And it was a short crochet along, which is the only reason I joined it, because you know me, I just don't do well with those ones that last weeks and weeks. So the Turbulent Sky Shawl was a 4-week crochet along. I managed to get it done in 6 weeks. I think that was pretty darn good. I was very, very pleased with myself. And this is her pattern. And one of the things that caught my eye, besides the fact that it was a short crochet along, just a few weeks, was she was using yarn that I actually had in my stash. Hers was a different colorway, but I had gotten this, and I had gotten this from the Hobby Lobby big sale. So I paid $2, I think, $2.25 for the package of the yarn. I still have it here because I literally just finished this. I just wove the ends in yesterday. So you get a thing like this, and it has actually 6 because I used up all of the purple. I used up all of the dark purple to make this. So it would have been like that. Had one more. And I got this on sale, $1.99. $1.99. And this was the Yarn Bee Pigment and Fiber Lavender Days. 630 yards in one of these. And it was weird because I would use most of one and then a tiny little bit of a second one. So I did break in. I needed 2 of these. But as you can see, I hardly used at all much of the second one. And somewhere along the line, I lost one. I lost one up because this one has 5 and this one had 6. So one of the colors, I lost it. I think it was this one. I lost the little donut thingy, so it had to have been in my travels. I don't know if it fell out of the car. I have no clue, but it's not here. I don't have it. So I still have a lot of that yarn left over, as you can see, enough easily to make another shawl. When I was making this, and I'm sure at the beginning I realized it, but as I went along, I had lost track of the fact that this was fingering weight yarn. And I kept telling everybody I was using a 3-weight. And I was wrong. It's this, and it's fingering weight, which tells me I will have no problem working with fingering weight yarn, because I was a little nervous about that. I see a lot of shawl patterns that use fingering weight yarn. I have acquired fingering weight yarn to make shawls, but at the same time in my back of my head, I was concerned about it. And I think I was equating fingering weight to working with crochet thread, you know, that thin stuff, which I don't mind doing, but it can be tricky and it can end up hurting my hands. You know, I've got the arthritis in my hands. And so, but it wasn't. It didn't bother me at all as far as that respect goes. The other thing was, in my little brain, I had equated working with fingering weight yarn on a shawl was going to take forever and ever and ever. I did this in 6 weeks while I was working on all the other things. Now, having said that, this did end up, as you can see, this is not a big shawl. This is more what I would call a shawlette, you know, and the ladies, they take them and they do this kind of a thing. Oh gosh, that's pretty. Isn't that pretty? Oh yes, that is beautiful. So this is a Christmas present for somebody. Let's see if I can get it better. Yeah, so this is a Christmas present for somebody. Oh yeah, that's gonna look nice. And she can wear this to the office. And she doesn't know who, I mean, we do Secret Santa type drawings for our Christmas presents with our family. So you never know who you got till they hand you the present. Yeah, very pretty. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. Spring, the Fiber Enthusiast, and it's called the Turbulent Sky Shawl. She's got videos, very, very detailed videos every step of the way. Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous stitch on that. And of course, I've got mistakes in here, and I'm not going to point them out because we don't do that. But I know they're there. I know they're there. But this really turned out pretty. Yeah, like this a lot. I'm liking this a lot. And I hope the person I give this to, she is crochet worthy. So I think she will definitely appreciate this. Absolutely. Absolutely. So another finished object. And I mean, this is finished. I've got all the ends woven in and everything. The only thing that still needs to happen is the blocking. And I don't know if it makes a difference because I haven't blocked a lot of things. But I feel like I need to wait until near when I'm going to give the gift to block it. I don't know if the blocking like goes away or I just don't know quite how that works. Let me know, you guys. Is that a thing that could I do this now and it's still going to be fine at Christmas time, or should I wait till closer? Let me know how that works. I've got the blocking pins and the blocking mats. Oh, wow. So pretty. Yeah. So pretty. Really proud of this one. Really proud. Glad I took it on. Glad I finished it. A lot of the things in here were things that I would have considered too hard for me to do, but taking it step by step by step, it was fine. It was fine. So that is 3 finished objects. 1, 2, 3. 3 finished objects since our last Finish It Friday. I think that's a world's record. Let's see if I can get this to stay up there. Yep. Okay. So we made the bag. We finished our little plant thingy for the mosaic crochet. Learned how to do mosaic crochet, which was the most important part. Finished the beautiful shawl. The cocoon sweater is about 3/4 done. The Darla sweater is about half done. And then we've got the Christmas blanket. So if you guys remember, I'm trying to not lose I'm always trying to not lose my hook on these things. If you guys remember, the last time we spoke, I had figured out the problem with this, got that figured out, completed this, and I had just started on this, the red portion. So I had just barely started that the last time we were talking. So I finished that. And then the next week was the linen stitch. That turned out really nice. And simple, 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 simple. Linen stitch, I think some people call it the lemon peel. I don't know if there's a difference, but it's basically double, single, double, single, double, single. And then when you switch it, it's single, double, single, double. So doubles go on top of singles, singles go on top of doubles. Easy stitch, looks nice, gives a nice, if you had a real pretty yarn that you wanted to showcase, I think that would be a good stitch, because you've got a little bit of pattern here, but the yarn itself would definitely be the star of the show with this particular stitch, don't you think? Yeah, I think so. Now we're doing what is called, they're calling it the larkspur. I have seen it called other things. So I'm on stripe 14. Oh my gosh, we're almost halfway done because there's 30 stripes. So stripe 14. Oh, they don't name these things. I'm sure they called it the larkspur. Gauge, yep, lark's foot. Lark's foot is what they're calling this. Lark's foot. And that's the design. I have seen this called cat's tail. I've seen it called cat sitting on a fence. So, and it seems like it's always the same kind of design. So that's what we're working on right now. And it's coming along fine. It's actually pretty simple. I think the important thing is your count has to be right, or it's not gonna look right. So we'll get that done this week. And then the next step is stripe 15, which I'm very excited about because if you remember just a couple weeks ago, we were talking to Glinda and we were talking about cross stitching on top of crochet and how you can make all different designs. Well, look at this. I didn't even realize it when we were talking. The next set is cross stitch on top of crochet. So we're going to learn how to do that. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to learn how this works. I've cross stitched many, many times, so that part doesn't scare me. And let's see what it looks like here. That's what it looks like. There, that's what it looks like in the blanket. So this is, if I don't think I remember to say that this time, this is from Annie's Crochet. This is a kit. And it's Annie's Crochet Striped Afghan Club, they call it, because it's a series of them. And every month they send you this month's little pamphlet thingy. It's got 3 stripes and the yarn to make those 3 stripes. And I have, in fact, I think I've received all of them now. You can get them monthly, every other month, or I set it up for... At some point they made it so you could get it twice a month, and I set it up for twice a month just so I could get them all here. And then I can go online and print out the instructions. So I've got the little pamphlet they give me, but then I've got the instructions where I can write all over it. So that's what I like to do. I like to have written instructions that I can write all over. So this week's goal is to finish the Lark's Foot, and I'll be honest, that's probably all I'm going to get finished. Because this is what's coming up. This is what's coming up. I am going to Texas to help my daughter out. And I'm going to be down there for about a week and a half, I think. And I am taking some projects with me. But I'm taking one of my Christmas presents, which is a hat I'm going to make. And so that's going to be, a small amount of yarn to take with me. And I can't take this big blankety stuff because there's just way too much yarn. And I don't know. I don't know if this might be too much. I'm going to have to see how much room I've got in my suitcase. I could take this because the Darla sweater, because really this is all I need. I don't need this whole big thing, which has all the extra yarn, because I don't need all that yarn. Definitely do not need all this. I always have a hair thing with me. Definitely don't need all this yarn. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just take this, get however far I get with this, and the stuff for the hat, and then I'll make the hat. That's not a bad plan. That is not a bad plan. And then everything else will have to wait. And then, now, while I'm down there, I'm still going to be doing my videos. I'm still going to be doing my lives. We're still doing bingo. So none of that changes. But literally the day I get back from Texas, the next day we leave for our regular vacation. And I got to figure out what to take with me on that, because I'm going to have very little space and I won't be able to take any blankets. But I'm thinking probably one of the mosaic projects that are smaller. And they're easy to set down and pick up without messing up. And you only use 2 skeins of yarn at a time. That's probably what I'm going to take with me, is one of the mosaic projects that I haven't even started yet. And that's a good thing. It'll be a good thing to have something that I haven't started. And that's what I'm going to do. So the goal, while I'm in Texas, get as much done on this as I can, because I want to take this on my trip. I want it to be wearable on my trip, on my vacation. And get that hat done. So that'll be one of my 3 Christmas presents. And then on the trip, on the vacation, I'll take another one of the 3 Christmas presents. And I'll have 2 weeks. And so I ought to get a pretty darn good head start on that. So that's what I'm going to do. That's the project I'm going to take with me on my trip. I should have very close to a finished object with this, and I should have a finished object with that hat. Christmas blanket's going to fall behind, way behind. But it's not for this Christmas anyway. It's just, we're going to, we're just working on getting those stripes done. That's the actual Finish It Friday project. I'll get this week's stripe done. I should get this week's stripe done. And I got a lot of packing to do in the next couple of days. And you know how it is, getting everything ready around here. And because we're going into Canada, it's got some special requirements to do that. But I think that's it. So we got 3 finished projects done this week. How amazing is that? One of them is this beautiful, beautiful shawl. And we made progress on every single one of my other projects. I think that's a world's record. And I wanted to say this. Am I right? Am I right? Yes. And I don't think I said this before, every single project that I've got going right now, the yarn came out of my stash. Every single project. Another world's record. And that's because I finally have my yarn out where I can see what I have. I've been cleaning out bins and making a list on them so I know what's in there, and it is making a huge difference. When I'm thinking of projects that I want to do, I'm thinking of what yarn I have available to work it. And sometimes, like I've got one coming up where I needed 5 colors, another blanket, 5 colors. Well, I had 4 of them, so I only had to buy 1 of the colors. I consider that a win if you can use up that much out of your stash. Very, very pleased with that. And some of these beautiful things I've been getting in mystery bags and mystery boxes. And I've got all that listed in the back of my mind. So as I'm looking at things, I'm like, oh, I know what yarn I can use for that. So even that has been, I consider that to be a major win over and above all my finished objects. Being able to shop out of the stuff I already have. That is it for this week. It's been a great week. It's a couple of weeks. It's been a couple of weeks. But again, I love, love, love this bag. And I love that I've got this finished scarf. So tell me what you guys think. Is that a good plan for my going down to help my daughter with the kiddos? And also for my big trip where I've got to be careful what I take with me. I think that's going to work. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.